Does the exit of Great Britain from the European Union have prophetic implications? Welcome to SkyWatch TV for Tuesday, July 5th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. We'll analyze that question with the help of a prophecy teacher who recently posted an article to his website on the biblical perspective of Brexit. He's the author of a number of books, very prominent books on Bible prophecy, including Psalm 83, The Missing Prophecy Revealed, Nuclear Showdown in Iran, and most recently, the Now Prophecies. We welcome Bill Salus to the program. Bill, viewers may be curious to know why a unified Europe has any significance in Bible prophecy anyway, regardless of how Brexit affects the European Union.
Right, and that's an important question in light of this issue that recently happened with Britain's departure from the European Union. We who follow traditional teachings on Bible commentary is that the Roman Empire will revive. We believe that's pictured in Daniel 2, Daniel 7, and out from that revived Roman Empire, the Antichrist will emerge as per Daniel 9. So before the Antichrist emerges, several things have to happen, and one of them is the revived Roman Empire, because Daniel 9:26 says that this individual will come out of the people who destroyed the city and the sanctuary. The city was Jerusalem, the sanctuary was the second Jewish temple, and the Roman Empire did that in 70 AD. Of course, they collapsed over time through the centuries, but the prophet Daniel said they would revive, and we see that pictured in those Daniel verses. We also see in Daniel chapter 7 that the world will become a one world order that will then divide into 10 kings, probably a 10-division state over the world. They show up again in Revelation chapter 17 with the Antichrist. In Revelation 17, verse 16, where the Antichrist instructs them to actually desolate a world religion that's going on now. This is all end times situations. And so the concern with a lot of people right now is Britain's departure. How does that affect this revived Roman Empire? Because now it looks like other countries may want to have their own referendums, exit, and things like that. So I would just simply say that the revived Roman Empire is in prophecy. It's pretty clear. Most commentators will teach that. This is just a small fraction of something that we shouldn't take a knee-jerk reaction to. And I think Britain's actually in its own prophecy. It doesn't even need to be part of the revived Roman Empire. And I believe it's in Ezekiel 38, verse 13.
And that's where the merchants of Tarshish appear to be puzzled by why Gog of Magog is leading a campaign to take spoil in Israel.
Right. In the Now Prophecies book that I've recently released, I talk about in a chapter is America in Ezekiel 38. And I point to Ezekiel 38, verse 13, where you have Sheba, Dedan, the merchants of Tarshish, and their young lions, who are concerned about the ill intentions of the Gog of Magog invaders. We believe that would include Russia, Turkey, Iran, and several other countries, 9 populations altogether. The evil intentions are to come against Israel for plunder and booty, coming against a prosperous Israel to deprive them of that livelihood. And so here's this group, Sheba being Yemen, Dedan being Saudi Arabia, merchants of Tarshish, I would suggest would be the UK, and America would be their young lions who came out of the loins of the British Empire, out of Britain once upon a time. So I give my arguments for that, versus Spain, which is the other argument, and then the young lions would be the South America, et cetera, Latino countries. That's a weak argument. And so therefore, having the merchants of Tarshish coming out of the revived Roman Empire, i.e. the British Empire, Britain coming out, makes perfect sense if they're in Ezekiel 38:13, because they're in the prophecy of their own alongside an America. The thing that is interesting to me, though, is that this group of protesters seem to be protesting and not fighting alongside Israel or invading Israel. Why is the UK and why is America not helping Israel, especially since there's merchants of Tarshish, there's commercial relationships involved. We already see those developing with America and Israel with their natural gas and elsewhere. Why are we not defending our commercial interests? Why are we simply on the sidelines, protesting if that's what we're doing there? And I just am concerned that, we know why Britain wouldn't do that right now, because they can't fight a major coalition. But America's the #1 world ranked army in the world. I think something happens, Derek, between now and this prophecy to America. And I talk about that also in the Now Prophecies book. I devote 3 chapters to the decline of America and that sort of thing. So I think Americans need to be very concerned about what's going on, and this Britain exit simply seems to align with Bible prophecy, and it's independent of the revived Roman Empire.
So the revived Roman Empire is the place from which the future Antichrist will come. Britain, by splitting off, is a separate entity, as in Ezekiel 38, indicating the merchants of Tarshish. The revived, or the empire that's ruled by the Antichrist, the dragon with the 7 heads and the 10 horns, is not the European Union or a revived Roman Empire, but some sort of global government ruled by the Antichrist.
Well, I believe he will come out of the revived Roman Empire. I
Right.
do believe there will be a revived Roman Empire. I stick with the traditional commentaries on that. But I believe the EU right now is a fledgling state of that. I mean, the actual Roman Empire that the Antichrist will come out of chaos. It'll develop out of necessity. The noble intentions of the EU right now to make a United States of Europe really is what they've been trying to do. A great idea, but it doesn't work. Britain's an example of it. It's like oil mixing with water. Different cultures, different economies, different clashes throughout the centuries. Unlike America that was birthed in unity. However, when you see in the end times the world is in a total disarray, a state of chaos, multiple biblical prophecies that are globally impacting will have happened, then all of a sudden now the revived Roman Empire becomes very viable. The world it'll invite it and embrace it, because it'll be looking for some semblance of order again in the world, because the world will be in total havoc. So to me, it emerges out of necessity, not out of noble intentions. And the UK may or may not be part of it. The UK, after we see Ezekiel 38, which I believe will precede the revived Roman Empire, which I believe will precede, of course, the emergence of the Antichrist. Who knows what the UK will look like at that point in time? Maybe they'll get back involved. But at this point, they don't have to be in part of the revived Roman Empire. They more than likely have to be part of Ezekiel 38:13, which now makes that prophecy look more close in proximity than ever before also.
Right. So the predictions by some of the experts and globalists were declaring gloom and doom on the world because of the departure of Britain from the EU, which I should point out is not a sure thing. This referendum that the Brits voted on was not legally binding. Parliament, if they wanted to, could ignore it. I don't think they will, but they could. But there could be then another event or series of events that compels the remaining states in the EU to join together in a super state. In fact, a plan has already been put forward by the foreign ministers of France and Germany, which apparently the polls are taking not very well. It could be an economic problem. In fact, we've already seen a call from Italy for a 40 billion euro bailout of Italy's banks, or it could be a geopolitical crisis. Do you have any sense of what might prompt the remaining states of the European Union to give up the talk of dissolving the union and in fact binding together even more closely?
Yeah, I don't think they're in a position to dissolve the union that they're putting together. They're going to try to hold it together. They are all in. There will be countries that probably want to have their own referendums, and I understand that. But really, at this point, it's going to be too difficult for them to go back and be their own islands again of nations. So basically, what I'm looking for is biblical prophecies to find fulfillment, probably in the order I'm about to tell you. I believe Jeremiah 49, verses 34 through 39 is about to happen. That's a prophecy dealing with Iran. I believe it's nuclear related, dealing with ancient Elam. I believe Isaiah 17 is going to happen, the destruction of Damascus. I believe Jeremiah 49, verses 1 through 6, dealing with Jordan. There's going to be a real issue, a toppling of Jordan. I believe that's going to happen. I believe Psalm 83 is going to happen. Now, if we start looking at these globally impacting prophecies, if your viewers, I've got this all written in my Now Prophecies book so they can understand these prophecies. These are world-changing events. And Obadiah 1 and Jeremiah 49 talks about Israel expanding, not contracting. Ezekiel 37:10 talks about the Israeli Defense Forces emerging as an exceedingly great army. I believe that's going to happen. Ezekiel 38:11 talks about a safer Israel, a wealthier Israel. I believe that's going to happen. It's part of Ezekiel 38 and these other prophecies. 1 Corinthians and 1 Thessalonians talk about a removal of the church, a rapture of the church. Mm-hmm. What if that happens before the revived Roman Empire, which I believe it could? Ezekiel 38:13 talks about the decline of America being as these young lions protesting that massive invasion. We talked about this. That's about, I listed 11 or 12 prophecies that will affect the world like the world has never been affected before, apart from the time of the flood of Noah. Therefore, the world will be in calamitous condition, saying, give us a world leader, give us an empire that we can, have some semblance of order. I think that's what precipitates the revived Roman Empire, not just because it's a good idea with noble intentions right now.
Right.
It's out of necessity.
Yeah. Bill Salus is the author of the Now Prophecies, his website, prophecydepot.net, and he's one of the featured speakers at the forthcoming Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference in Colorado Springs. In fact, we'll see you there, Bill, in just a couple of weeks. Thank you for your time today. We sure appreciate it.
Great, Derek. We'll see you there.
Again, Bill's website is prophecydepot.net. Now, if you're interested in seeing Bill's presentations at the Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference, you have that opportunity even if you won't be in Colorado Springs. There's still time to sign up for live video streaming. You'll get, via the internet, full HD clarity on 40 presentations from 27 speakers. If you want information and to sign up, log on to prophecywatchers.com. That's prophecywatchers.com. This week on SkyWatch TV, we continue our discussion of America. What have we lost and how do we get it back? The new book, When Once We Were a Nation, features 12 chapters, 12 different topics, analyzing the changes that have taken place in America and how we might regain what America has lost. To borrow a phrase, perhaps, how do we make America great again? SkyWatch TV this week features Josh Peck and Christina Peck, and Joe Artis and Donna Howell discussing their contributions to the book. You'll see SkyWatch TV tonight, 4 different locations: the Victory Television Network, WGGN TV in Sandusky, Ohio, WLLA TV in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then coast to coast on the Christian Television Network. That's DirecTV Channel 376, Dish Network 267, and the Glory Star Satellite Channel 117. Tomorrow, the Cornerstone Network coast to coast at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, World Harvest Television. That's DirecTV Channel 367 at 6 p.m. Central Time, immediately following the Jim Baker Show, and WLLA in Kalamazoo. And then on Saturday, the Victory Television Network and WCLF TV in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area. And of course, our web exclusives offer more content for your perusal. This week, another interview that we couldn't fit under the network television schedule, as one of our favorite guests, Reverend Dr. Robert Bennett, returns. He's the author of 2 books that we highly recommend for your reference library: I Am Not Afraid and Afraid, Demon Possession and Spiritual Warfare in America. We talk about theological pluralism. Can Christians hold multiple contradictory beliefs? Well, the answer is no, but we do it anyway. And you'll find out what Dr. Bennett means about that in our web exclusive interview with Dr. Robert Bennett. You'll find that at SkyWatch TV and the SkyWatch TV channels on Roku, YouTube, and now Vimeo. We appreciate your support, and of course, you can always help us with just a click of your mouse finger, wherever you find us online: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube. Click like, click share, and click subscribe. And if you've got any email for me, questions, comments, or suggestions, please send those to dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. We thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. America isn't the same country that we grew up in, but it's hard to get back what we've forgotten we had. That's why Defender Publishing presents When Once We Were a Nation. 12 chapters, 12 authors, each one remembering when once we were a nation of strength, of rugged individualism, of dreams and opportunity, when once we were a nation of faith. From authors like Tom Horn, Chris Putnam, Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, Sheila Zielinski, and more. And when you order a copy of the new book, When Once We Were a Nation, from SkyWatch TV, we'll add these books free: Dancing with the Devil, an honest look at the occult; Culture Clash, Islam's War with America. Conspiracies and the Cross, How to Refute the Most Popular Attacks on the Gospel. And God Bless America by Todd Starnes of Fox News. A $95 value for only $19.95 plus shipping. When Once We Were a Nation from Defender Publishing, because the first step to getting it back is remembering what we had.